Imagine if your job paid you differently for working the same amount of hours every week. You'd eventually quit. Now imagine eating different foods every single day and then complaining about the same body. Tracking calories is a form of measurement. Nothing more, nothing less. If you wanted to have more money in your bank account, you track spending, you track income. If you wanted to make progress in the gym, you track the weights, you track the reps, you track form, you track different things. And the reason why tracking is so important is because whatever gets measured gets managed, is objective. There's no feelings involved. If you allow things to get in the way of you measuring progress, of you tracking your journey, it's going to be hard for you to make adjustments, to make changes when progress stalls and when you hit a plateau and you don't know what's working and what's not working. So there's many ways to track. And the first one I'll talk about is macros. And it's very simple. Macros, short for macronutrients, is just numbers. You see food as numbers, and that's a pro. And the con is that food isn't food anymore. Food becomes numbers. And then it becomes hard for you to say yes to going out with family, to going out with friends, to enjoy a meal, because if those meals don't align with your macros or with your targets, you feel guilty for having them. And then that starts a different cycle. So another way to track food is by doing portion sizes. And the pro with that is that there's no numbers involved. You look at your plate and you see how it looks, and then you portion everything from protein, carbs, fats, and veggies. And it's very, very simple. But the con with doing something like that is that you don't see numbers. And if you don't know what foods are healthy and what foods aren't healthy, then you're not going to be making the best choice every single time. And if that messes up your psyche, if that derails you from making progress or from staying consistent, then portioning your foods probably isn't the best choice for you. A third way that you can track is by following a specific diet. And the pro with this is that there's structure to it. It's amazing. You know exactly what to eat, what not to eat. You know when to eat. Everything is laid out for you. But the con with doing that is that it's very structured, so it's limited. Which means if you want to eat something that's off of that plan, you're going to feel guilty, you're going to feel shame. You probably can't go out with friends, you can't go out with family, you can't enjoy a life of flexible eating, of flexible dieting, because you're following a plan that's structured and that's strict. And it doesn't matter how you track foods. Every diet that you follow follows one principle: calorie deficit. When you are portioning your foods, if you're trying to lose weight, and if it works because of the principle calorie deficit. And then tracking macros is the simplest way for me personally, because I get to see numbers, and if I follow those numbers over time, being in a calorie deficit, I'm going to lose weight. You can have success with all three, you can fail with all three. But just because you fail at one thing doesn't define you forever. You have to give yourself an opportunity to make mistakes so you can learn from them and then adjust going forward. Numbers don't define you, habits do. So you're more than just the numbers. You're more than just your failures, and you're more than just the sum of your negative experiences. So track macros if that's the easiest way. Do portion sizes if that's the easiest way, or follow a specific diet. Again, if that's the easiest way for you to stay on track and for you to make progress. You can do all three, you can do neither, you can go by feelings. It doesn't fucking matter. But you have to choose one, you have to be consistent, and you will see progress and you will see changes. Because direction is way more important than speed. Because if you're headed in the wrong direction very, very fast, you're not going to get to where you want to be. But if you take your time, and if the progress is slow, but you're still making progress and you're headed in the right direction, I promise you that's way more important and more valuable than just going there fast.